What was your vision when you first founded Croud?
The vision when we first founded it was the same vision that we have today, which was to build a disruptive agency that combined the best in-house talent with our now famous Croud network, all underpinned by a piece of proprietary technology that managed the whole process.
It was that vision of connecting the world's best talent to brands of all sizes, which was something that we sort of set out on. We sort of changed that mission to slightly larger businesses as we progressed, but I remember having a rather vivid memory of thinking about interconnected modes where people were connected through technology, and that was sort of the exciting starting point for me.
Do you think over the years your vision has changed at all?
Yeah, we've evolved it. I wouldn't say we've ever fully pivoted. I mean, we had an ambition to have 60,000 clients at this point, work with SMBs, have a platform, and probably not that many in-house employees. That evolved into let's be a proper agency, a proper global agency business, but with the Croudies sort of powering that agency, and it meant we, rather than having the 60,000 clients, we've ended up with 150, but much bigger, more scaled businesses that we do a whole suite of services for.
I think the bit that we didn't necessarily set out from day one, but realised really quickly was this model is a better model for global business, and that's really critical for our sort of vision and mission now.
What lessons have you learned over the last 10 years?
One lesson I've learned that I think is a really important one is there is a direct link between hard work, hustle and luck. The more you put into a business, the more you get out, and I think that's been borne out by all the stages of success of Croud. It's a combination of those.
How to work smarter, how to invest and professionalise the business at the right points, and really the importance of making the right strategic bets, timed with a bit of luck and fluke and everything else. But yeah, building a disruptive, a distributed workforce model was very fortunate at the times we're currently in. So yeah, there's always a bit of luck behind it as well.
Do you think any mistakes in particular have influenced your decisions?
I think we've learned from our mistakes. We're quite an introspective business. When we make mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes, we use them as a way of improving our business. So we reflect, if we lose a pitch or we do something slightly wrong or a recruitment strategy isn't quite right, we think about why that didn't work, and then we go and improve it for next time. And every time that's happened, that's what I love about Croud. Particularly on the pitches, when we lose a pitch, we go into ourselves a bit, work out why that didn't quite land, and then we'll go and win the next one. And it's happened so many times, and that's why we've seen so many iterations and improvements in what Croud is and can be.
It's not about not making mistakes. Mistakes are fine, and it's actually good to make mistakes and evolve. It's about not making the same mistakes twice. That's really the critical point.
Good point.
So if there was one thing you do differently in the last 10 years, what would it be?
I'm not one for retrospection and regrets. One of my philosophies, no regrets. It is what it is. You can't go back. But what I would say, and it's not just because of the audience here today, is that I would have invested more money in proper marketeers and proper marketing at an earlier stage. We didn't really double down on investment in marketing until about 2017 because we built this unique model and we didn't want anybody to kind of steal the idea, which meant we were probably a little bit behind the curve in implementing a really robust marketing organisation, which is now here today, and we're bearing the fruits of.
What was the biggest challenge you faced so far?
Biggest challenge, probably the first couple of years. The first couple of years where we were, behind. We were losing money at times. We were, holding things together with a bit of, virtual sellotape. Some months, we couldn't pay all the staff. Ben and I both took significant pay cuts, both to start, but then during the time, sometimes we just didn't have enough cash. So it's like the hard yards of launching a business.
I suppose it's sort of maintaining the analogy of the swan looking graceful on the outside when you're frantically paddling underneath and having to speak to your wife to ask to borrow money for them to pay the mortgage for the next few months because you're not paying yourself. So they're all the pressures that I think probably most founders have in some form.
I don't think we'll ever forget our roots. You know, you should always remember not to get too carried away with your current success, because, you know, once you were there, and you could always go back there, and we could always lose a couple of clients and be in a very different position. So continuing to work hard, continuing to care, continuing to really drive the business forward is always impacted by the fact that you've got that in the back of your mind. If we hadn't been there at the start, I don't know if you'd have that same passion to drive things forward.
Yeah, I think we take a lot of, you know, measured, well thought out risks. You know, there's a lot of stories of people that had huge investments when setting up a business, and maybe the risk is done a bit more willy-nilly than we do at Croud, but we like to take big bets and make them strategically.
And what is your most memorable day at Croud?
I've got two. So one of them was cycling to work about 7 in the morning, cycling up Ladbroke Grove. It's quite steep, and getting a phone call from a guy, a third party, who had some intel on a pitch that we'd done, and we'd pitched for Netflix, and he gave me the information on the QT that actually we'd won Netflix. And this was 2014, we were 3 years in as a business, and I don't think we had any right to win that against a whole host of network agencies, and we launched Netflix across Europe. So I think that was probably one of them. Then the second one, you know, the LDC moment, so the day or night, we did the deal, signed lots of papers, 2,000 pieces of paper I signed in a slightly soulless lawyer's office in Farringdon. But that moment where we realised value in Croud for both ourselves, but every one of the, I think it was 180, 190 employees of the business. That was a real wow moment.
Yeah, and 30% of that value went to the staff, which is really important as a philosophy for both of us. I think the other thing that I always think back on is, you know, very early in the Croud life, we set out this ambition of becoming the world's best digital agency, and we always felt we were on that journey. We were going through sort of the young child phase, the adolescence, maturing as a business, and then to be named, you know, Campaign's best agency in the world, or as they like to put it, Global Performance Agency of the Year. That was a big moment on sort of that journey. We're still on that route, we're still working and developing, but that was really, it gave me a moment of pride. I like that part.
What do you value most about Croud's culture and vision?
Where can we go? What's the ambition? What's that collective ambition? Culture, I think, you know, that whole every employee is a shareholder is quite unique, certainly in the smaller business space, and I think that has built this culture of togetherness, of empowerment, of everybody being on a mission together, and I think that's what I feel is it's very tangible within the agency, and that's what we want to encourage and keep this business moving forward. And there's just this general sense of, like, we're on a mission and we're on that mission together.
We had a quote given to us early doors around the Blues Brothers film and being on a mission for God. And it's that ethos of collectively we're all out there to achieve something together. We really care and want to look after our people. We want to deliver amazing work from our clients and deliver more than our competition. You know, these are the sort of ethos and driving factors that, you know, sets our culture and our passion.
What drives and motivates you to keep Croud going?
Croud itself, you know, getting up every morning and thinking we are on this mission. We've got great partners, we've got an amazing chairman, we've got brilliant people, loads of clients who really enjoy working with us that we'd never take for granted. And like the vision that we could take this so much further. You know, we had the chance to maybe exit and do a sort of strategic sale, but we didn't. We chose a private equity partner who'd been brilliant, and we're just on this sort of rocket ship mission, 40% year-on-year growth this year, hopefully similar to next. We've got, you know, fast-growing business in the States, Australia's flying, the UK, you know, we're looking at more expansion, you know, we're moving into acquisitions. So it's just that combination of all these things, combined with like a really competitive nature, like we want to win, like we want to be that best agency in the world.
Excited when I get out. There's still so much to do. You know, Luke touched on it, going bigger, going more global, doing better work, the agility and invention and reinvention of the business, which is, you know, a constant driver in the agency landscape. So huge amount still to do, and it's still fun.
With Croud turning 10 this year, what do you predict Croud's future to be?
Our future is bright. Our future is, you know, lots more of this, lots more growth. You know, continue to get better, never thinking we've made it, and seeing where we can get to. Where can we be by 2030, for example? You know, I've got a plan to be doing this till that point. You know, how big, how successful, how good a partner can we be to our customers, how good an employer can we be to our teams by 2030, because we could be several thousand people and in lots more places.
We're in a really strong position. I want to keep on that journey to being the world's best agency. It was great to get that recognition for Campaign, but there's still lots more to do, and you know, bigger, better, stronger as a business. It's exciting times.
I was supposed to say something like Croud at 10.